Welcome back to AltPress in Session. My name is Anna Zanes. I'm the editor-in-chief of Alternative Press. Today's episode is a special one. I sat down with our Artist of the Year, someone whose voice and vulnerability have shaped the last 2 decades of alternative music. I'm talking about my friend Hayley Williams, who you've also seen on our latest cover. This conversation took place in Tennessee at Hayley's house, the same space where the Glum music video was shot for this album cycle. Though it's currently gutted of furniture, it's a really beautiful, cozy space and full of character. As suggested by Hayley herself, we sat on the floor and we drank tea at a small Japanese writing desk that her mother had given her when she was little. Just a fun fact for fans, she wrote a lot of our favorite Paramore songs at that table. We created a really intimate environment, and that was something both of us valued for this kind of open, honest conversation. If I had to sum up the conversation, what we dug into was the distance between who you are, who you were, and who you become. We talked about the strange clarity that came to her after Paramore's last album, This Is Why, and what it's been like growing up in the public eye. We get to know Hayley as the artist and person herself, not just the Paramore frontwoman. She reflects on the past year, her new album, Ego Death at a Bachelorette Party, and gave us some tea about her upcoming tour. You can watch the full conversation as a video interview, and if you want to go deeper, we've created a custom AltPress Artist of the Year Hayley Williams zine, which is available in the AP shop. This is AltPress in Session with Hayley Williams. All right, well, thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me.
You were telling me a little bit about this house.
I got this house right after the contract ended, and I kind of felt like there needed to be some type of place to put energy into that would essentially hold a lot of music and hold a lot of people when they need a place to crash, or maybe like a different kind of home for me than I've really known before, and something with a little bit more like of an open door. I don't know. It's just the energy of it when I found it feels very communal here, and I'm excited I have no idea, but it's a long ways away.
I can imagine that, like, coming off of tours and doing everything you do, like, you do want your home space where you really live to be fairly private. Mm-hmm. And then, but I also get like wanting to have this kind of like an artist commune.
Yeah.
Discord house situation.
That would be, I love when artists, like even when the American football guys help to buy back their place and now it can be like a community effort. I think that's really important. And it's important to, I think also for artists to feel supported by other artists, So if this can turn into that, that would be the ultimate goal. But I'm open to other things. It's a great home too. It feels more than that,
Yeah.
But I guess we have to see how it unfolds. It's been like in a state of disarray for over a year, and I started working on the studio here. So maybe it'll kind of like reveal itself over time working on it and spending more time here.
Is that something you've always kind of wanted, like a communal space, or do you feel like that's kind of where you're at now, where you're feeling more open to that and you're looking for that more?
Probably both. I don't know if I would have thought about how possible or how much of a reality that could have been, but I do think I've always really valued the idea of chosen family and people being able to pull together with whatever they're good at, whatever they love, and kind of gives them a sense of purpose. I like to see like an active community like that, and especially in smaller doses where it's real chosen family feelings. That's been something I think probably in my head and in one form or another since I was a kid and my parents split. And I really think it all goes back to just wanting to keep family close. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. And then the definition of that, I'm sure, changes. It's the band, and then it, morphs over time. And
the band has kind of been the chosen family. It's like, I've said a lot, it's like the vehicle that everybody piled into, where we went along and learned all the lessons that we needed to learn. And
the church band.
Yeah. Now it does kind of feel like anyone that you can it's like I was saying, when you can sort of put your purpose next to somebody else's or the thing that you're passionate about and find something that how those, it's like greater than the sum of its parts kind of vibes.
I mean, that's definitely like, I can see this year, like the amount of collabs and on stage appearances you've done that like you're definitely reaching out to a wider network.
Yeah.
And like, how did that happen? Like, and all of these people and collaborations, are you just kind of like open, are you seeking people out? Like what?
I'm more open than I was. I think when I go through anything emotional or, am holding a lot of grief or what, I tend to try to keep myself busy. And I think that's like a good and a bad thing. But this time I've found it to be healthier than any other time in my life where I've thrown myself into work. I mean, I'm still learning in real time with this album promo cycle that there's like still more I could do to like edit and take care of myself and give myself more rest. But the part where I'm going to shows and supporting friends or singing on stage with them or jumping in the studio with them, that's been like really healing for me.
I get that is probably a healthy thing because it's kind of like the in-between of like a black and white spectrum between like full, like whatever the self-care is and then work, like throwing yourself into work. Yeah. It's like, for me, people ask me what my hobbies are, and I don't really have hobbies because my job is my hobby.
Yeah, same.
So it's complicated, and finding self-care is difficult.
Do you feel shame around that?
Only when people shame me about it, which I think people do.
Who's doing that?
I don't know. They're like, well, maybe you should try Pilates.
Anything. Literally list 1,000 things. I have these conversations too with like my mom, and I think my mom would be really psyched if I got hobbies that weren't music related, but they all are. I don't know. I think it's like, it is kind of the dream to be able to do the thing that you love for a living. And it does obviously make it complicated because I think there's days where you're just like, maybe I actually hate this.
Yeah. I also think anytime like finances get involved in things, it's easier to have mixed feelings. But it's funny, I was even talking to my boss last night and he was like, I'm impressed that you aren't disenchanted.
Oh, with all of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't cross my mind.
Kind of saying, I mean, there are certain things, I mean, doing press and kind of like talking behind the music has always been really hard for me. But I don't think any of those things that would come up, the stressors or whatever, it's like when you like to work also, and it just gives you that feeling of purpose. I think it's worth having struggles with it or like being challenged by it. And there's always like, the thing that I'm trying this year harder is to like look at the opportunities presented to me and really think like, well, how will I feel 2 weeks from now, a year from now? Like probably I'm going to love this memory. And it's going to mark a moment in my life. So I think when I'm struggling the most with it, that's kind of where I go.
Yeah. So it's about motive.
Yeah.
And like aligning with your values. And, like they say that like the key to happiness is experience.
Yeah.
Not objects or whatever. It's like.
It's so true. Like the stuff that I've done this year with friends, and it really kind of started this time last year. I went to LA and I was staying with Dan and Elise, and that was kind of the beginning of me thinking about making music. I wasn't sure how yet. And David Byrne reached out like out of the blue and wanted me to help write a song for the Twits movie that just came out. I was in such a kind of lost place at the time, not really understanding, like worked since I was a kid. Do I want to just fuck off and not work and not think about work or think about like public facing stuff? But I think when someone that has like been your hero comes out of the blue to offer you something, I feel like there was like a universal thread kind of pulling me toward it. And if I hadn't done that, I really don't know how much of the last year would have happened. I think it gave me a lot of courage. And it sort of set me on the path of like, I probably need to say yes a little bit more than I have and leave my house a little bit more than I have. It's been great. Like, shows are so fulfilling to me. Like, even just watching them, I don't have to be on stage. Just to go to a show and feel incredibly normal and stand in the back is like so healing.
Yeah.
The best.
It really is. I feel like the thing about shows that I love the most that I can detach from work is like, even if I don't necessarily like music or whatever it is, like seeing fans engage with the work, like singing along and moshing and things like that. That is like the craziest thing to witness. It's like a spiritual thing.
Exactly. I've been using that word for it so much. I think it's like the most spiritual thing I've experienced. And I grew up in the church, like it's like very connected. And I mean, I also just think sound is so good for us, like the literal science of it. I think it's great for us to experience that in tandem with other people. I think it really changes the air around us. And I don't think I will ever get tired of going to shows, but I do think I go through seasons of my life where I lose a part of myself, and it might be from the job that we do. Like maybe I get burnt out, but I don't know. Like I was saying, this year, the way that it's felt has been a lot healthier for me. I don't feel like the pendulum swung all the way. Feels like I'm finding footing, and maybe that's age. I don't know, but it's been fun.
You feel like you've been more in control of the narrative?
Yeah, yes and no. I just have to get over that I can't be in control of and that's really hard.
Right. So it might be the opposite. It might be that you're less in control, and that's like a radical acceptance thing.
Yeah. I really have to radically accept all the time the stuff that is on the internet. And I mean, I was saying to a friend the other day, when I ultimately quit school and we started touring, one of the things I was most excited about was like not being in a yearbook photo anymore. I don't want to be pinned to one day of my life in the 7th grade.
Yeah.
Like, don't remember me that way. And that's how I was as a teenager. And I think it is how I am as an adult too. Like, oh, there's that photo shoot I did, for 20 minutes in 2018, and I don't even know her anymore,
Yeah.
But
your former AP covers.
Oh yeah, exactly. And there's also just been so much lore and drama around my own career that, you can't control it. You just can't. And eventually one day I will fully accept it, but I'm just on the path there. I don't know, maybe it'll be the day that I croak. I'll be like, what was great being in public my whole life, and then I'll rest.
What would you say the biggest thing you've learned from David Byrne is, since that's such a big part of this?
Curiosity. He's so curious about a sound on the street when he's riding his bike in the middle of the night, or a culture, or learning about the Talking Heads when I was younger, and especially when I really did the deeper dive while we were making After Laughter. I read about how he was really influenced by this one recording of a preacher that was kind of doing that thing where you kind of sound angry, but you're saying a word, you're speaking a word, and he does that. And I think it's once in a lifetime that inspired, and that inspired how my delivery for Hard Times happened. And I think really that just boils down to he's interested, and he stays interested in people and what he doesn't know. And that's a really humble place to live your life from. And I've learned a lot about that this year. So I've always especially being the youngest one in the room growing up, you kind of had the posture knowing what you're talking about all the time. And it's amazing how that can stick in the blood, in the bones. There's so much that got set in that I think was really kind of, it left a bitter taste, or a negative impression of being open, being vulnerable, staying open, allowing yourself to be completely molded and changed by your experiences versus always kind of having armor up. He's just so ready for the world to do anything, show him anything. And I love that. It kind of makes me more excited about getting older as an artist too. So I hope to maybe I can just get weirder and make more. And I love it. I love his career.
I feel like it's kind of, they talk about that in self-help and things like that. The most powerful thing is acknowledging I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like getting older and just knowing less. Yeah, maybe that's the goal.
Yeah, there is an Operation Ivy song. All I know is that I don't know nothing. It was probably 19 or 20 when I got into them. And that was my favorite song. And I feel like it is because I enjoy when people admit to not knowing things. I love the thought of, I'm not good at this, but I love the thought of you asking me a question and me being like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not good at it. I'm still learning how to do that.
So how do you think that, because you did say it sort of kicked things off working with him, like that curiosity and that not knowing, how'd that play into the album?
Well, it meant that I could write and make stuff just very in the moment, and for the joy of it or for the necessity of the exercise, without thinking, what am I going to do with this? Am I going to take this on the road? Is this going to be an album? Like, I really didn't answer most of those questions until we got really close to everything being done in the studio. And that's why so many things were last minute. I've never done an album like that. I think the not knowing is kind of what made the magic of it. It's why every song is kind of different from each other. It's really a journey, but I think what keeps it the most cohesive is the openness to like, well, where are we going today? And then you get negative self-talk and Ice and My OJ on the same album. That's fun.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I feel like it represents the full spectrum of emotion, which kind of like you mentioned earlier, like sound is part of everything. And especially like the brain and psychology and, so I definitely felt a lot of different things listening to this album and also like over time listening to it.
Oh, cool. Like growing with you?
I felt like differently. Things have impacted me. I guess also like as I'm going through things.
Yeah.
Which is really awesome. And I love that. Because sometimes it can be jarring when an album sounds different throughout, but it's...
Yeah, I know. I actually love an album that just feels really, really cohesive and like one solid thought. I
love it.
You like
it works.
Okay, good. Thanks. I did. I mean, I probably second guessed it the most right when we were deciding to make it an album, but it feels good to hear it's growing and changing with you, because I feel that too. I mean, a lot of times I don't even know what I'm writing about in the moment. Maybe I did more this time, but I would say 9 times out of 10, even this album, I'm going to look back in a year and be like, oh.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, it definitely feels super honest, obviously. And
I need to get more metaphorical soon.
No, I like it. It's like feels instinctual.
Thank you.
But, yeah, I mean, you and Dan did such a good job.
Thanks. I'm really proud of him. I think he's worked for so long and done so many different types of projects, and our whole circle were such fans of his. I'm so thankful. I'm thankful he wasn't too busy to like just dive in with me on it, because it was kind of a whirlwind.
Yeah. I mean, and it sounds like, I know you guys are all close. And so that's kind of like, you're like safe. And
yeah. Our bubble is I think we found kind of a really amazing, also very creative little huddle that we could just kind of all stay in together. And I think we all influence each other in a really big way. Dan's wife, Elise, I've been friends with her since 2017 is when we became friends. And Elise cares so much about aesthetics and environment, and she's a great photographer. Like every person that is kind of around, we all love seeing each other win. We get to watch Brian do his thing with hair, and obviously we do it with this, but then we watch him go out and do, it's really beautiful. And it kind of feels no different than a band. It's just, it's just that we work separate also more often than I did in my band. It makes me, I just feel really grateful because we all make each other better in different ways. And I just, I like that it's free. It's just like a free form, free flowing thing that might change a zillion times, but I know we make each other better, and that's the driving factor.
Yeah. I mean, even I think like working on the AP shoot with you, like you know, it was kind of self-styled, Elise helping you. And it just feels like everybody's supporting each other to be themselves. That sounds so corny, but like...
No, it's real though.
Like, even the way, like, your style is like, you look fucking awesome these days. Like, you always look awesome, but like,
I'm
you
cozy.
know, yeah, it feels like you're like doing you.
Thank you. And that means a lot because it's kind of a mind fuck to grow up the way we did. And I just feel like that was one of my biggest struggles growing up in any form of the public eye. I think there were times where we were more popular and there were times where as many people may not have been paying attention, but I always struggled the same with it because I just felt like, please don't define me. Like it is really uncomfortable. And yet we live a career and a lifestyle that is like kind of defined by eras. You know, you look at an album and you think that's who I was for a couple of years. And these are all the lessons I was learning. The only one I couldn't really do that with for a long time was This Is Why until like 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, oh, that's what this album is about.
Really?
Yes.
Will you tell me about that?
Well, leading up to everything that essentially made this album possible and to be an independent artist, like that last 6 months on Atlantic and that last 6 months with This Is Why was hard. It was hard. And it wasn't just me, but I was having my own experience of what this life has been in this way. And I knew it was coming to a close and I was so ready for it. But I think because of that, I wasn't really present to where we were in the moment. And I think that's why I couldn't fully embody what am I saying and what am I really actually talking about in this song. Thick Skull was always my favorite song on the record because I think it really shows the best of each of us. But I was like, this is a really sad song. Why is this my favorite one? What? Like this is a really honest struggle of a song. And I think I've just had to learn the same lesson over and over and over again in the industry, in relationships, friend group. Like, I think it's just really hard to learn to advocate for yourself. And I think back on that record and I'm like, I was learning things that I didn't like about myself and trying to work through that, like running out of time or c'est comme ça. But I think I just had a lot of anger in me that didn't come out. And then fast forward to being an independent artist that can do whatever, whenever. And these are the songs that came out. And when Showbiz came out the other day, it kind of felt like the final purge.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, please be it, because I'm ready to move forward, you know? But then I've got to do the thing again where I make sure I'm staying present and I'm not trying to just skip ahead to find out what happens next. Like I think the curiosity part has to come back into play.
Yeah.
What's right around me right now. Bjork has this great quote about falling in love and how it can make the same streets you walk down a million times feel like brand new. And I feel like surely we can find that all the time. I don't think we necessarily have to have those particular chemicals going on to see romance and magic and, you know, all the cheesy words I could use, like kind of right around. And coming back to Nashville kind of forced me into that too, because I was like, I wanted to be in California. Now I'm back here and I grew up here and it doesn't feel magical and it feels like everyone's losing their rights and I'm here behind enemy lines essentially. And then I started to see what I grew up loving about it here, and it helps to go to shows and to see the local scene kind of at play. And it helps to get involved and understand what's going on locally, politically. That's the kind of stuff that's grounding me enough to not try to skip ahead too far.
Yeah, wow. There's a lot there.
Yeah, that was like 3 questions in one. My bad.
No, I love that. Well, I have to say, like when I was, you know, I came in today just like wanting to chill and chat with you and catch up. And like, I had done all this research previously, you know, and I was gonna like come in with my little whatever. And like, there are so many lyrical ties, or maybe I would say like breadcrumbs in This Is Why, the new album.
Can you tell me any of them?
Well, okay, I'm gonna like, I'm so embarrassed to say it out loud and like butcher it.
C'est comme ça.
Yeah, I felt like that. Thick Skull. Like, I just felt like there was a lot there that was I don't know if breadcrumb or Easter egg or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you can tell that there was something brewing.
Wow. Okay, so I'm not crazy.
No, I definitely I heard that and I read all the lyrics a bunch too. And you can see, you have motifs that go through the water.
Yeah.
Just through everything. But there's, digging a little bit more into the feelings and the anger, like you said.
Yeah.
Because I do remember when I talked to you guys around This Is Why, and you were like, this is the first time we're kind of we're getting a little political. We're touching on some other things. And it's kind of just
Baby
getting
steps.
there.
Mm-hmm.
And so that totally makes sense to me. I'm interested about the coming back to Nashville and almost you're forced to shift perspective.
Yeah.
As somebody who's also moved to LA and back a few times, I feel like I've tried to do that before and it's tough.
It is tough. I kept thinking the last time I was there, this is me trying to go back to someone that I know is not good for me. That's what LA feels like. And I mean, I'm going to work there probably if I'm doing music, probably a lot. But I think I wanted to stake a claim there and be like, this is home. This is me, independent from everything I grew up around. And I don't know, I think it held a lot of amazing memories, but I know in my gut it's not home. And Nashville is. Yeah. I'm open to looking elsewhere as the world fucking falls apart. But I really think that places like Nashville and the surrounding areas also need locals to stay.
Yeah.
And to try to pitch in or, just be part of it.
Yeah. Also, I mean, your point about being behind the enemy lines as well too, that's also a place where your voice is needed.
Yeah, I want to preach to the
arguably
choir.
more so than in
yes,
an LA bubble.
Right. I mean, I thought about that a lot actually during touring for This Is Why. I would say things on stage and be like, well, most of the people here probably agree with me. I mean, if it's going to go out in front of people that disagree, it's probably going to be a video from someone's phone or something. But at the same time, I think I'm tired of talking about stuff. And I feel that ever since I moved back here and knew this is where I'm going to be, I just want my hands a little dirtier and I want to be more face to face. I think the internet, the fatigue of social media is just, I'm really gearing up to quit it. Team is going to kill me. But I don't think it's rarely doing what we need it to do, And I think in terms of the activism piece, I'm just more interested in what actually I can get done than what I can say from a stage to, again, probably mostly people that agree with me. But solidarity is also important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind of things have you been doing or are you looking to do?
I'm really interested in food justice. And this comes after years of working with Support and Feed and feeling like they really understand many sides to that struggle. And it seems like it just feels like I'm going to have to study it. But Representative Justin Jones, who's from here, is also doing work in agriculture.
In your video.
Yes, Justin Jones. I can't believe he came through for the video.
But see, I didn't know who that was. I saw your video.
Really?
Now tapped in.
Okay, sick. I couldn't believe that he could do it. He was probably home for 2 days and still showed up. But
oh, cool.
He's he told me something about doing work around agriculture here. And all I know is that it just pinged something in me. It's not clear yet. And I honestly haven't been home enough to dig in, but I'm excited to figure that out. I'm also just I'm just really passionate in trying to point people to local shows or venues that they can support in their area. And I'm hoping that tour can be a place where that's kind of why I want to do smaller venues as well. I want to encourage that you don't have to play the biggest places in the world. And what Jack White and Andre 3000 said at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame show, little rooms, great things start in little rooms. And I think being able to point young people to those spaces or point older people who have resources that might want to be a part of that and plug back in. Maybe they loved music when they were younger and they feel disconnected. Like this is like a chance for people to learn what community is, like boots on the ground through music. So those two issues, I think, are the ones that stay with me. Obviously, racism is a really big one for me, but that's so intersectional with every issue. Mental health, like all of it. It's all kind of seeds right now that have been planted. And I don't really care about becoming a bigger and a bigger artist. I care about trying to figure out how to live a real life as an artist. And the rest is like, what can I do in person to like make my community cooler?
I mean, even what you were talking about with this house is part of that.
Yeah, I did. And again, it's like, it's the I don't know thing. I don't totally know how it's going to shake out, because I feel like a lot of times I'll have an idea or I'll have a gut feeling about something. And then when it comes to fruition, it's maybe a lot different than I thought, but it's the dreaming and the allowance to like go there in your mind that I think gets one foot in front of the other towards whatever it is that it's going to be.
You mentioned the tour. So I wanted to talk about the tour.
Excited. Yeah, I was so pumped.
And you have water from your eyes basically on the whole tour.
Yeah. What? They're like new friends of mine. I love them.
They're so sick. I love them too. They're so weird.
They're
amazing.
So weird. And like, I love Rachel. And I think what they do, just interviewing other artists, is so cool. I would be terrible at that, I think. But yeah, I really enjoyed getting to know them. And obviously I'm a huge fan of all their projects. So that'll be cool. And we've been trying to figure out some other shows where we have to fill in. Like Snuggle's going to play a couple. There's another artist I'm really excited about that's going to do one of the shows, I think in London. I'm so excited. I am so excited. I can't wait to actually watch the show come together.
Yeah. I mean, do you feel like more excited about this than usual?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I can't tell if it's because I'm also really nervous and it's just like it's just an anxious buzz that's going on in me all the time right now. But I am excited to like play instruments again and feel like my energy can kind of stay here. Like when I played on Fallon the other night, like doing that and being able to stay here while playing with other like musicians, that they were so good. I felt like I was incredible. Oh, thank you. I was really, really out of my depth music, like instrumentally with these folks, but I like Doug, my vocal coach, arranged all the strings and everyone came in.
Amazing.
And it just felt so good to play with people. And I realized how long it's been since I've actually done that part and to sing with people, you know, more than a couple of other voices. Like that was interesting too. And again, it brings me back to this feeling of, I think Paramore operated, we kind of insular, you know, and maybe that came from us just always being so young that we hung out with each other.
Yeah.
Until we got older and like, then maybe we were set in stone. Because I really feel like the collaborations have been like few and far between. Yeah. But I'm excited to feel like I am in a constant collaboration and watch the show and the songs. Maybe they evolve over the tour. Like we just don't know yet. I'm just pumped to be, again, it's like this is where I get to go be an artist. And the difference I think for me that I'm nervous about, but I'm excited about, is I don't really want to show up as the person that fronts Paramore. I want to show up a little bit more myself, however that looks. And I think that's the question mark that makes me nervous is, well, what does that actually feel like?
Yeah. Do you think that will start to come together when you start practicing and putting together the songs?
Yeah. And also just gaining a little more confidence of playing every day. And, you know, I mean, just playing a guitar, standing up, singing behind a microphone stand is like completely different than how I've grown up performing. The last time I played guitar with Paramore, we all just sat on stools together and played. And I think most of my career has been about projecting all this energy out, and I want to bring the energy back this way. So hopefully the people that come to the show are down to let me watch them dance and hang out. And I feel like it'll still be a party, but the thing that I am challenging myself to is to not perform.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like some people pleaser stuff too, I'm sure.
Yes, I gotta break it. This has to be the album. If this can't be the album of my life that lets me learn what it feels like to break the people pleasing, I don't know what will do it.
You have dedicated fans. Like, they show up for anything.
They do.
And they want it, you know.
I think too, I love that we've known a lot of the fans that have come to Paramore shows for so long that like we've seen them change and grow, and it's been mutual. So I feel in a way, even though this is a record with my name on it, it's kind of no different, fingers crossed, than showing up with like After Laughter, you know, post self-title. I do think that people are willing to take the journey. I just have not felt it. I've not felt what it feels like to be on a stage where it's not about Paramore songs. Like, it's not about that. It is about that world, and I have said, and I still mean, that this is an album that I think is for Paramore fans. But I'm going to be learning a lot about what I really most want to experience on stage. I'm going to be really honed into how it feels in my body.
Yeah,
we'll see. Fingers crossed.
That's exciting. I mean, I also like even the vibe right now of like drinking tea on the floor in a sweater is like,
yes.
It feels different, and it feels, you know, I can see you bringing that kind of energy to the shows too. That feels like, you know.
So we have tea at the show. I just pass out little shot glasses.
Under everyone's seats, like Oprah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I love that. I'm excited to see it.
Thank you.
And I'm sure once you like get in the flow with, you know, other musicians too.
Yeah. I'm kind of excited for the feeling of being on tour with I mean, I listened to Water From Your Eyes the whole time we were making the record. We were like waiting for that album to come out. And I'm excited to hear those songs out in the world. You know, like I went to a couple of their shows, but I can't wait to be backstage and hear them playing while I'm getting ready every night, because I do think it's just, they've become part of the world of making this record. Like it feels so deeply.
I love that.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, I think like speaking of sound, I love the difference between listening to an album and then what those songs sound like live, like how they're translated. I love the difference. And I think the difference is so important. I think it's important for it to not sound like the record.
Yeah. I mean, I also, for a lot of artists, like songs actually fully change once you start playing them on tour and things like that.
I like, do you like when that happens?
Yeah, I think it's so fun.
Me too. I appreciate it.
I remember talking to like, Frank Iero about LS Dunes, and like there's this one of their songs like is like entirely different live, and like they've never played it the way it is on the album.
Really? Damn, I love that.
It's even more curiosity.
That's what I'm saying. I just think it's like good for us to keep ourselves and each other like on our toes in positive ways. And being at a show and letting it be a living entity versus, I mean, Paramore, when we were growing up, we were very anti tracks, and I didn't want any auto tune or nothing. And then we started having more fun and adding more people to the band, and be like, well, okay, we kind of want this sound, so we'll do this on a track, or we're going to be on click obviously the whole time, so we already have that running. I really hope for the show and this album to feel like really human live, and we'll see. We'll see how that translates, if that means extending parts and just letting people have fun with that, or if it's just me changing my own parts. I don't know, but I'm excited to see how that changes me as an artist as well. Because before around the time I joined Paramore, I was also in this funk cover band as a kid. Oh man, I was working overtime as a kid. I just wanted, just let me sing, you know?
Yeah.
And I loved that that band was, I mean, obviously we weren't playing original songs, but it was so experimental because that was the only way to be creative, was to take these songs that already existed and change them. And then the way we work with Paramore is so different. So I'm like, there's got to be like a happy medium that I can find myself in and feel like I'm getting better as a player, hopefully, and like learning the difference between simply like performing and also just playing music and really enjoying that moment for myself.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the thing that's been circling my mind a lot lately, but it's just because we haven't really started rehearsals yet.
Yeah, for sure. It'll come together. I'm sure. I also can imagine there's going to be a lot of like newly converted fans.
Oh, really?
I feel like I've heard from a lot of people who aren't necessarily like Paramore fans and didn't grow up in that like space or anything like that, who were like
into the album. That's cool.
I've definitely heard that from quite a few people.
Man, I hope. I mean, I'm super down for a party, but I just I like a romantic life, and I do worry sometimes that like with Paramore, I was like, well, what else can we fucking do? We like literally the band keeps growing, and I don't know what to do about that.
Does it feel like pressure?
Yes and no. It's like, it's exciting because you want to leave behind a legacy of like all are welcome and it's a good time. But I don't know, with my music, there's a lot of truth in me saying I would like this to be the last Hayley Williams album because I don't know, I'm not really interested in continuing to see my name in lights. I'm more interested in like the stuff that happens behind the scenes. Even with other artists, you know, like being more creative in that way and getting to help in that way. Like, I just think there's so much more that can be done and so much more fulfillment that happens behind the spotlight of it all.
I kind of like that. And also like, that's just making me think about like leaving LA, coming back to Nashville, trying to, like you said, get your hands dirty in like community things and not necessarily making your world smaller, but like more like being in the world and not your world.
Total. That's a great way to put it. Because I really do feel like I've been the most outside. I've like since I was in my early 20s. Yeah. And I do think it's been all these extra, you know, like going and singing on stage with friends is not really a work trip for me. Yeah. It's like I get to let out the teenage version of me that just loved going to shows. And I said on Substack earlier this year, I posted these photos I randomly found of being like 14 or 15 at church camp. And I was like, this year is for her because this was probably the last normal year of this person's life. And the shows and all that extra being outside stuff really has fueled the work and made the work feel, it like takes the sting out of the bad days of like a job that is hard or something.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the hobby.
Maybe that's the hobby, just going to shows.
I mean, I feel like I'm something about like the term inner child like makes me.
I know, like we're all doing so much therapy speak.
I know, it's a little much for me, but like I do feel like going to shows is like when I feel the closest to that, whatever that is, and like even starting at since working at AP, like. From going from fashion, like I started dressing like my middle school self.
Crazy.
Which is so nice.
I mean, I feel like I've known you in both. I've like watched you in both sides of that job, of this job. And you seem to me more yourself. Do you feel that?
Yeah, definitely.
Isn't that so weird though, that like probably a version of yourself that I would imagine you ran away from for a little while, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Not intentionally.
Sure. Yeah. I get that.
I just think like my life got complicated and I had a lot of stuff going on like as a teenager. And I kind of like let go of like the things that I cared about. And like then I just ended up somewhere, which I'm grateful for being in fashion. But I didn't really care that much about it.
Man, it's good. It's good, I think, when you can start to see the good parts of yourself over like the loud teenage voices that like for me, I remember being, you know, kind of taking away the joy or like the being present in it. Because I felt that too this year. I've been like, why am I dressing like this and doing this? But I don't feel any less young for it. I just feel connected to some part of me.
Kind of got that vibe when I saw the H2O.
They hadn't played Nashville in 20 years.
What? That was so sick.
Thank you. It was so sick for me too.
Yeah,
I loved it. Like I also just loved being next to Max's Toby's kid, you know, and I just watched him grow up. So to sit next to him while he's crushing and playing with other artists too now, like that was a really sweet full circle moment for me. And that's why I say I'm kind of glad we're doing the interview now because so much has happened that to me has made me feel like I could look back at different moments in my life and be like, you were good. You were doing the best that you could. And I don't know if I go back and change anything, actually.
Yeah, I think also like it does seem like there's a lot of like actualizing moments for you that are happening. And in my experience, I think going through a lot of pain is usually the way to get there.
Yeah, like grief teaches you like nothing else.
Pain is the greatest motivator.
Yeah, it is. And also anger. And I think, unfortunately for me, I am someone that when I get really hurt or when I feel, I don't know, I mean, more therapy speak, like when anything gets to that like abandonment thing in your body, you really don't know how you're going to react. But I think anger from me is usually what would come first because it's trying to protect me. And I don't know how to, that's why I sing so much about wanting to, I want to keep learning what softness means. Like, I don't think it's simple. And I think also so many people talk like that on podcasts that it starts to mean nothing. But for me, it's been such a long lesson that I'm like, when do I get to the end of this? Because anger has also caused some of the best moments in my life where I was motivated enough to do something that I thought could help make a difference, whether that be activism or even just writing music for myself. Like grief, pain, anger, all those things kind of, I have to find my way to real vulnerability, like underneath all that stuff first. I'd love to get there faster. Maybe I did get there faster with, I'm going to give myself that because I think that this album would sound a lot different if I hadn't learned to look beneath anger, you know?
I feel like that's pretty evident as a listener, or maybe it's because I know you as well, but there's something.
Thanks. That's cool. That's affirming. It's been such a big part of my own story as a writer because people know me as I don't know, I think there's like an image of me with a microphone and I got a mad face on, you know, that like, if you looked me up in the dictionary, that's what it would be.
I think that also comes with being a woman.
It does. Like you can't show any emotion without it being hysterical. But you know what? Every time I've had a very revealing moment with myself that involved my anger, it was like, you know, Brand New Eyes or my first solo album. And it actually changed what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, it changed the chemistry of what was going on in the moment. Like, I think that without that anger, I don't know what Paramore would have done during Brand New Eyes if I hadn't been able to write that and get through it and us actually have conversations about it. So it's a push and pull of like learning to value it and learning to not be ashamed of it. And then also learning to move through it maybe quicker, hopefully.
And learning to use it, it sounds like, too.
Yeah, it is really kind of like when you have to learn to wield a power. You know, if you're born with a superpower, let's say, and you don't just know how to use it right out of the gate. I think it takes time. And more to the point of us talking about curiosity and staying open and letting life kind of teach you as you go along. I still don't think I fully understand the depth or like the root of why the anger and the passion about like injustice and all that stuff is so big. But I'm not shutting it down either.
Yeah. It's a question that I feel like I ask a lot of people. Do you think that great art requires pain?
No. I think that a lot of great art comes from pain. I mean, some of my favorite art comes from it, but I really can't believe that though, because then I feel like I will sabotage or continue to sabotage.
Right.
I think great art actually does come from the willingness to be taught and molded and grow and to be wrong, you know? I think a lot of times when we're wrong or when we're really, really limited in something, it forces innovation, and that is creativity. So I don't think it has to be pain. I just unfortunately love like music that comes from it.
Yeah. Maybe it's that you have to have experienced it.
Yes. I do think that empathy is important for a writer. And I don't know that you can truly understand empathy if you don't let things hit you all the way. And that's also a really hard lesson for me because I do try to stay so guarded and without realizing it. Like I'll think I'm being soft and open to the elements, but I'm actually like dressed like a football player and I'm padded up, you know? I don't want to dig around in like the Paramore canon for the rest of my career to write, you know? I want to like keep growing older and experiencing things and writing from that perspective each that is, unless I start to lie about my age, and then I'll have to start making up different things. But to have empathy, I think it helps you put yourself in other shoes, right? So then you can write from those places. And I'm interested in that too. I'm interested in seeing the world outside just my own stupid eyeballs.
I have to say that something I think we've talked about is like you feeling uncomfortable talking about yourself and being used to talking about the band and talking from the perspective of Paramore and a unit. And I think you've done a really good job.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Oh my God, it's really hard. I mean, how many times have I said in an interview, like, we just took some time off, you know, to like get our identities kind of untangled from the band. And I'm like, that shit has possessed me. I need an exorcism yesterday. I need to really be able to look in a mirror when I'm out at a restaurant and washing my hands without thinking, is this going to be a photo on the internet later? And even if it's not about the internet, I think I've been Paramore has been my only story since I was 13. And that is insane to think about. And it's been a huge gift. Like I mean, damn, I feel like I'm so lucky I got to be in one of my favorite bands for like my whole life. I'm never going to not be the singer of Paramore, but I really need to understand what other stories I'm about and what life looks like when I'm not hinging everything to that vehicle, to that van, you know? I think about the Thick Skull video all the time lately. Like I just I can't stop thinking it. And I think it was a perfect representation of what needed to happen for me to fall apart enough to like open up again, you know? And I mean, I'm still not untangled, but
yeah. I like the idea of like talking about stories, like what stories there are out there.
Yeah.
I think the word identity sometimes is like overwhelming.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, are we ever going to really?
Yeah. Do we really ever figure it out? I kind of hope not, because I actually think when you get there, it's like when I think my fixed identity is Paramore, essentially, it is such a heavy weight.
Yeah.
Versus being open-handed.
There's a lot more room for failure, I think.
Yeah.
Pain if you lose that, if something happens.
Yeah. I need more room for failure. I really do. Because I also hate to not be good at something right away, like sports or something. I didn't play a lot of sports growing up, probably because
Same.
Did you play anything?
No.
Did we talk about this? Okay. I tried to play basketball for a while, but
it wasn't good at it. So.
Yeah, I like, if I'm not great at playing a song on the guitar the first few times, it's tough. It was like, that's the like real life and the reality and the practicality of being a musician and artist that I'm interested in again, is like, maybe we can focus less on content and focus on our craft. I think that would just make everything more interesting.
Yeah. I hope you play some drums on the tour.
Oh my God. I hope I do too, but that would be such a tall order. Maybe a tiny kit. Just a really tiny kit. So it feels like a toy.
Wheel out.
Yeah. In a wagon. It's so small. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would love to play the drums. I love the drums, but I got to strap on a guitar first before I can even sit back down at the drums. I was watching some of my videos from the studio and like, I didn't really have enough time. We made the record so fast, I didn't have enough time to practice. And it still bums me. I'm like, I could have been so much better than I was, but that's for later. I want to learn the flute too.
I tried that in school.
Did you? In band?
Yeah. I wasn't very good at it. I just don't like practicing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, that's the thing. It's like if you don't immediately like snap into it, it does, like, you just there's no choice but to practice it.
I like you on the flute though.
I mean, it could be sick. It's like the flute has come into the zeitgeist in a new way. We got the Singer of Speed playing flute.
Oh, yeah.
We've got Brittany Howard played flute on this cover I did of one of my granddad's songs that's like only out on physical right now. But when she brought in a flute to the studio and it was wooden, I was like, I'm done. I need to learn more instruments.
Have you tried yet?
No, my sister plays sax and my dad played the trumpet in high school band, and apparently he still has it. It just needs a big cleanup. And I was like,
family band, isn't it?
Maybe it's ska band.
Yeah.
Just all
you want a fedora.
But so, I mean, there's some shit laying around that I could try to pick up, but I really think I need to just need to sit myself down at my Rhodes every day and stand in a corner with my guitar and like put myself to school a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
That's exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. Thank you.
That's fun. A project is good.
It's really good.
I mean, you have enough projects, but
I've kept myself busy. I really hope though that I get to hibernate for the winter soon a little bit.
Yeah.
Just with instruments.
Well, speaking of hibernating, there's a story behind this tea that we're drinking.
Oh yeah. This tea got sent to me. I just got it yesterday from David Byrne's wife, Mala. It sounded from the letter like she grows this, but definitely the honey that's in it is from their bees. So this is a pot of gold.
Yeah, it really is.
And I love tea. I'm trying to get away from coffee again because this year I've just been like Vice City. I'm going to smoke weed.
You deserve it.
Oh, thank you. I don't know. I've let myself scroll on TikTok until my thumbs are sore. Like
they say deal with things in the order they kill you. So you're good.
Okay, cool. Coffee is so bad for me, but I love it so much. But I'm trying with the tea. So Mala is aiding in that journey.
I love it. On this table?
So my mom went to Japan. My mom got picked at like a lottery. She was a public school teacher in Mississippi. And she got picked to go on this trip to Japan. And she was in a not great relationship. So she was like, get me out. I went and stayed at my dad's for a couple weeks. And she went and spent time in Japan. And she wanted to teach her students about like some of the things she learned there. So she got this table and cut the legs down, and they all sat on the floor and had tea, and they ate food together on the floor. And then she gave this to me when she was done, and it was in my teenage bedroom. I wrote "Here We Go Again" at this table. I wrote so many songs at this table for Paramore.
This is also a pot of gold.
Well, and I love it now. It sits in a place in my room by a window where I can just cast spells and do creepy shit. But it's I like to be low to the ground, you know?
Yeah.
So this table is really special.
I love it. Well, thank you for having tea with me.
Thank you so much for I'm so happy I got to talk to you, and I'm so happy that you're at AP. I love what you've done with these stories and these artists. And I obviously grew up reading the magazine. I feel like we're so back. We're so back. You know what I mean?
Thank you. That means a lot.
Of course. Goodbye. Goodbye.
If you want to spend more time with this story, watch the full video version of this interview now. For fans who want something you can hold on to, grab a custom AltPress Hayley Williams zine featuring some really crazy photos that didn't make it into our digital cover story. That's in the AP shop. Thanks for listening to AltPress in Session. We'll be back soon with more conversations that get behind the music and into the lives of the artists who shape it.